Hello guys and gals, I just finished up these two Relic jobs on these Lakland basses. I'm going to rewind the tape and show you right from the start how I did it all. Back of the neck, lots of dings, some buckle rash. See the front of this one. This one also has the little cold checking lines in it. So, just starting to wipe on the vinegar. The iron vinegar. This has cleaning vinegar with 2 balls of double-aught steel wool, and I wipe it on the neck that's been sanded. I didn't film the sanding, but I can explain what I do. I start in the middle with 150 or 120. I'm sorry. Then a 220, a little wider area, 320, 400, 600, and 800. And by the time I get to 800, I'm going the full length. And I'm not always going in a linear direction either. I try to do certain spots unevenly because I don't want it perfectly even. As you can see, it starts to darken. It's starting to turn gray. And then what it does is it starts fuzzing up a little bit because of the moisture in the vinegar, the water content. So I will, like the next day after I apply all this, make it gray. I'll hit it with 800 grit again. And then I'll put some oil on it. I did this one yesterday. Put a little bit of teak oil on it. Not sure I like the teak oil. It's got a, well, it is pretty smooth today. Yesterday it felt, and it smelt kind of like petroleum. But today it actually feels good. I kind of like this. Teak oil. Who knew? It kind of smelled like Danish oil. So, we'll see. A couple of Lakland basses, Relic jobs. Got a couple dings on the headstock. There. A couple gashes. Alrighty, I'll give it a 4th coat of the vinegar, the rusty. See the rust? That's what it is. We're oxidizing the wood quickly. Learned this technique from this old house or something. They're replacing one board on an old deck or an old fence that had grayed and weathered. And the new board was looking like sticking out like a sore thumb, so they took this steel wool and put it in the vinegar for a day, and came out and they took the steel wool and rubbed it right into the wood. And it took a whole lot. I mean, they used a whole pint. I just used a couple tablespoons, and it turns it real nice and gray. I'll keep showing you some different angles here, and we'll put the oil on it. And we'll darken it up a little bit more. Beginning to see that color from the application of the vinegar, but it left it kind of fuzzy and rough because the water raised the grain of the wood. So I'm going to take 800 grit real lightly and rub it. Just to make it smooth again. Get that grain to settle back down. I can feel it. I can hear it. You hear that roughness went away. And now, ready to apply the teak oil. I can just use a paper towel. I have different qualities of paper towels. These ones are some Viva. They're less likely to scratch, but they actually absorb liquid a lot better, hold the liquid. So this teak oil, man, it smells a little, which made me worry at first. But after I felt the results the next day, I was like, yes, this is great stuff. They said let it soak in for 5 minutes. So I just put on a big wet old coat right there. And that's it. We'll let it sit 5 minutes, wipe off the rest. And then tomorrow, it's going to feel smooth. That's a Relic neck. This is a stone bit. Let's see. That went through quick. I'll take that stain, put it right on there. That looks pretty good. Let's give her a good one right here. See, it doesn't really show up very good until you dab it with some stain. That's denatured alcohol with some Kalamazoo mahogany and red mahogany. Oh yeah, that's good. Right on the edges. Can you see that? Oh, a burn mark. Better clean that up. Yeah. Oh, that's bad. That looks like she took a real hit. Dang. You know, this one doesn't look like she got hit hard enough now. Well, that's alright. That looks pretty cool. It actually took a real hit right there. Where else might a guitar get hit? I think a guitar would get hit right there. Yeah, that's a common place for a guitar to get whacked. So remember, with this thin poly, you can't just go and whack it because you might crack it. It's basically plastic finish. With a lacquer finish, you could take like a hammer and just hit it, and it would make a nice little dent. But with poly finishes, you got to be. You got to use power tools with poly finishes to make it appear like it was dinged. Poly finishes are so durable. Call them urethane, call them poly, I don't know. Anyways, I just wanted to put a couple dinglings in there, make it look ugly. and hopefully he likes it, because there ain't no going back to new now. Alright, I'm going to start doing a little relicking on this body. Got a Scotch-Brite pad. I'm just going to use a small piece. Okay, so I've also got this card scraper thing where I can remove a little urethane. See this urethane stuff? You can really smell it. This file is a dual action, I guess. It's not a standard mill file or a single cut. It's a double cut, and that can take off material pretty quick. Actually, pretty nice how that takes off the material. Then I can smooth over the edges with the scraper, or I can use the single cut file. This one's glued to a handle, just to make it a little easier. I used to use this a lot on frets, but I went to snap files, the StewMac snap files for my frets, because I like to change out the file. And the snap file comes with 4 different files. And of course I'm going to need a file cleaning brush. Got a brand new one right here. This is a brass. I've heard that you want to clean your files with brass brushes and not the stainless steel, because the stainless steel can actually do some damage anyways. Now, once I get to this point, I like to just smooth things over a little bit. And now that kind of looks like he dropped it one time and it left a little ding. So I'll check back in here in a little bit and see how many dings I can. There's some nice little marks right there. I kind of like that. Let's flip her over. Get a fresh spot here. Got her in the handy vise, and that looks like a nice spot here. I'm going to use the edge of the file to kind of randomly make some spots. Sandpaper. A little Scotch-Brite pad. I think you'll like that. So I did the Sunburst Lakland bass last year, and he brought them back to do the necks and have this cream colored one done. I'm going to do this one a little bit differently. I'm just going to make it more spotty and dark, because on the Sunburst model, the relicking looks like it's a lighter color than the paint. So this one's going to look like a darker color, and after this I'll take it on in and make it even a little bit darker in spots. I think that'll look pretty cool. This vise is kind of nice because I can rotate the guitar this way. I can bring the camera over here so you can see, tilt it up a little, and start working on this spot right here. That's that spotty look that I was looking for right there. Like that. You'll like that. Someone's trying to call me. This might do some damage. That did some damage. That's some icky stuff. Kind of going for this look right there. And this most likely is a Fender custom shop on lacquer finish. And it's really hard to get these little spots with a urethane finish like this. So I go ahead and take a little stone burr on a Dremel. Just like that. This is 320 grit. There. See, it doesn't look just like a smooth round spot anymore. It looks more like it's been done over a more gradual time span. I've got 3 different ways I can darken these spots and make them look grungier. I have a 1.5 pound cut shellac with some Kalamazoo mahogany, maybe just a really small little dab of red mahogany to warm it up. And I can get the brush so that it's not wet, but it has some on there, but I've taken all the excess moisture off of the brush with that paper towel in my hand here. And I just make it look slightly darker than it appears to be after the sandpaper. See, the brush is dry now. I'll get a little bit more on. I said more on. Alright, and there, I'm done with that method. That looks great. Okay, next method is a walnut repair marker. Let's see right here. Yeah, it's a little darker. Might be too dark. I don't like that. Okay, the next one is a Mohawk Perfect Brown brush tip marker. This thing rules. This has a real fine tip, and you can really get in there. It's kind of dark though. I don't know. It's kind of dark. Maybe this is just good for like accenting a couple spots. Maybe it's good for these spots here. Maybe. I think that's too dark. I don't know. Is it too dark? Brush tip marker. Let's try that shellac again. Okay, I put it on, and I take off the excess, and then I go in. Go in for the kill, baby. Oh man, that's so grungy looking. Oh man. Oh, that's looking good. Right there, man. Look at that. Alright. That's cool. That actually looks really cool with the different things, the different shades. That's just shellac on that spot. Just shellac. Out of all those coloring methods that I just used, I'd have to say I like the shellac method because it has a little filler. It acts as a filler. It fills in a little bit of the scratches and scrape marks left by the files and the sandpaper. So I prefer the shellac. I can dial in the color best with that too. I'm going to, hopefully you can see, I'm going to mix. Next, I'm going to paint lacquer over these spots so that the brown doesn't get rubbed off from regular wear. And I'm not going to use straight up lacquer. I'm going to use 1 part lacquer, full strength. It's not thinned, and 3 parts shellac. 2, 3, and I'm going to mix it up. Watch what happens. It gets cloudy. That's normal. I'm gonna make sure my brush isn't too wet. And I'm gonna all the colors bleeding a little bit, so I'm gonna make sure I don't go outside of the colored areas. On the second coat I can probably go outside of the colored spots a little better. I think I'll just go around in a circle. Go around one side brushing it on, and then I'll keep spinning it and turning it like that, and I'll go around, then I'll flip it over and go around the other side. And then it'll definitely take a second coat, maybe 3.